lighting. So we've continued, new generator, we've continued to try to upgrade the facility as we can go through it financially as we've got the money in our budget.
We don't open bids at council meetings.
That was, I think that was essentially, what was that?
We have a contract with Jody Hall.
Yeah, Jody Hall
And he did the bid opening, and then he will do the tabulation sheet and provide.
provided to us, so we will make the decision. He is our engineer on the project. We've engaged him, and that was done at council meeting. I believe that's it. Any audience participation relating into the Public Works Authority? Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the Public Works Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? And Chairman.
Yes. Moving forward, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, open up the regular meeting of the Clinton City Council, and entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Councilwoman Smith? Yes. Councilman Jones?
Yes.
Councilman
Yes.
Rudolph?
Yes.
Councilman Marcy?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. First action item, our second public hearing to provide opportunity for a public hearing. And once again, we have Dan McMahon here. And Dan, if you would give us just a little information. You want to do it in this public hearing section or do it on the first presentation of the ordinance? Let's go ahead and do the hearing and close it down. If anyone has any public comments regarding the establishment of increment district number 1, City of Clinton, this would be an area to provide those comments to the City Council.
Mayor, if I may make a few brief remarks. My name is Dan McMahon. At the City Council meeting held on January 4th, 2011, I presented information on behalf of the city regarding the proposed establishment of increment district number 1, City of Clinton, Oklahoma. That presentation and the question and answer period which took place afterward constituted the first of 2 public hearings which are required by Oklahoma law prior to the creation of a tax increment district. This evening, the second of these 2 public hearings is being held. The purpose of this second public hearing is to receive comments from the public regarding the creation of the proposed district. Please note that under state law, the City Council may consider and take action regarding an ordinance creating increment district number 1 at any later special or regular meeting of the City Council. So at this time, interested persons are invited to provide any comments which they may have regarding the ordinance or the project plan relating to increment district number 1. We would ask only that you give your name and address prior to making any comments that you have. Thank you.
Any comments, information regarding increment district number 1, City of Clinton? This is your opportunity to share those comments with us in the public hearing. Not seeing any, I'll go ahead and close that public hearing down.
Well, you're not going to ask us,
Well, if honestly, it's a public hearing, so we'll move on from that to the first reading, and then you can make your comments on that if that would be okay with you.
Okay, I wanted to ask a question. Go ahead.
Well, in the public hearing, the first reading would be, is that acceptable to you? Okay. Well, the public hearing, we want to go ahead and close it down because that's an opportunity for the public to speak. You're a councilman. You get to speak anytime you want to. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing down. The process that we were trying to go through, this is the first reading. We're going to dispose with the reading because it is several pages long. It's legalese. We are going to present it. We will take no action tonight. In the future, in 2 weeks, I plan on, we had a meeting with Dan. Grayson was still here. We had him at the meeting. We had Deborah Blanchard. Lisa was there. And we also had Brent Clark, Ryan Meacham, myself. Am I missing anybody? Russ Meacham, our financial advisor for the city. Basically, what we were doing, we were trying to get to a point where we could find the alternative financing concept. And we felt like having all those people there, we could answer the questions quickly and get to an answer. We did that. However, it's going to take a few more days to put our action item together on the financing side of it. We do anticipate for information that we will use the money in the Economic Development Fund, loan that to the TIF district. The TIF district will basically repay the Economic Development Fund, and we will reduce our costs as we've worked at all along. That was one of the things that I was trying to remember who brought that up in our TIF meetings, and I would have wanted to say it was several people. So it's one we've been working on since early December. That will come along. I anticipate and hope we have that at the next meeting to go through and discuss this first reading. I don't anticipate taking any action tonight on this, but it gets it out there so that people can look at it and take a look at it and ask the questions they need to before we get back together in 2 weeks and talk about this and try to finalize it. Don, you had questions?
Well, you kind of answered my question, because I was, first I'd heard of it, my recommendation was to use the money in the Economic Development Fund, loan that to the TIF district, and then repay the Economic Development Fund out of the proceeds derived from the TIF district, and that way we'd eliminate paying $1.4 million in interest. And if we can do that, if these numbers are half right,
Should be in good shape, shouldn't we?
we'll have it paid back in 6-7 years.
Hopefully
And that
4 or
way
5,
we-
yeah. And I might say that that's, last meeting, I anticipated we were getting there quicker than we were getting there, but hence the meeting Friday. We got there really quick Friday, and I appreciate those gentlemen all taking time and being here, because it didn't take long to get all the ayes and the agreements. So
But if you recall, I think at the last meeting, that's what I suggested that we do.
we've been working on that since early December.
Okay.
So that's a good idea. We liked it in December. That was actually brought up, I don't remember, do you remember, Rod, who brought that up? There were a couple people that, and there was some question as to whether or not we could do it, so yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I was there, I think.
I don't-
Just questioning
Is it
about the
Curtis
legalities of
Constantine?
being able to.
Curtis Constantine, does that sound?
Yes, Curtis.
Could have been James, it was Curtis James that said that that was something, and at the time, we thought it was definitely a concern, so we're at the point where I anticipate in 2 weeks, we'll have that information for the council, and we will come back to this. We say this is the first reading, it's actually the first presentation. We're going to let Lisa out of reading it, because I don't want to read it either, so it is rather lengthy. Any other questions regarding this? We will revisit this in 2 weeks.
I have a question. There are 2 parts. One is just to approve the district. That's one part. The other part is the financing. Is that correct, or it's not all one thing?
No, because we've made it to, and the district is to set it up,
Right.
and it gives us very broad abilities. We've already had our group approve that needed to, and now it's a matter of the council approving that and then the funding. Dan, do you have any other comments you want to make at this time?
Yes, Mayor. The reason it's done in 2 pieces, the TIF district, according to Oklahoma law, has to be done by ordinance. So we prepared this ordinance that creates the district. Usually financings are approved just by simple resolution, but it is a resolution that is on the agenda for both the issuer, which is an industrial authority, as well as the city council, and it requires a supermajority. So it's usually done in 2 pieces. The first piece is the ordinance. Once the district is set up, you come behind it with financing. They don't have to be done at the same meeting, but I think we're in a position to do that at the same meeting. I think we have all the questions answered for the financing, so we would anticipate having both items on your February 1st agenda. First, the financing for your industrial authority agenda, and then both items on your city council agenda.
Any other questions or comments from anyone in the audience, or excuse me, anyone on the council? We'll skip that first. I want to thank Ryan. He was there. I always forget he's down there on the end. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience regarding this particular, what I would call the first presentation of this ordinance? We can make copies available to anyone who would like it. That's not a problem. Not seeing any, I'll move on. Next action item is consider expenditure of funds from the remaining construction fund account with options to include the three that we have in front of us, finishing the north fence of Acme Brick Park, initial installation of the 2 coach pitch fields east of the entrance road, and extension of the backstop of 3 baseball fields.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we had some representatives from the baseball
Mm-hmm.
people. Would y'all stand up, and these people would like to make a comment to the council.
You guys look too old to play.
I'm the right size. On the 2 coach pitch fields.
Yes, sir.
When Acme was first, when we started the fields at Acme, coach pitch, we didn't have a coach pitch program here, and that was 3 years ago. Was our first year to have the coach pitch program. We only had, our first year we had 2 teams, and now it's only grown and we have 3 teams. And our coach pitch kids are all having to share one field. We're not able to host any league games here because it gets into other teams practicing, so we have to drive to Weatherford every, I believe it's on Tuesdays and Fridays for the whole month of June for our coach pitch kids to participate in the league. We're in a bind for coach pitch fields, and I think the addition of 2 coach pitch fields out at Acme would be a major thing. And I only see the coach pitch teams here in Clinton get bigger, and we easily fielded 3 teams last year, and hopefully before long we'll be able to have a 4th team. And on the extension of the on the backstops of the 3 baseball fields, there's on the southwest and the northwest field, they're fairly close together, and we've had several fans last year who would be watching a game on the northwest field and get hit. We've had a couple get hit in the back, get hit in the top of the head from a foul ball from the other field. And generally, all these most of the foul balls came within the area between the backstop and the first or third base dugout. And extending the backstops down the first base and third base line to the dugouts would be it would be a benefit to the fans, and I think it's a major safety issue out there.
It could be a liability.
It's exciting. It's nice having fields, we need more. Any other comments anyone else want to add to?
We started out 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, when we had 4 teams. We had 2 peewee and 2 midget teams. And this year, we're looking at having 3 coach pitch, 3 peewee, and 2 midget teams. So our numbers are growing. And
The awnings out there that they had put up,
Yes.
they just cover the bleachers only. People that are handicapped or in wheelchairs and stuff, they still have to sit underneath the sun. And we'd like to see if we could get that fixed around where all of it would be covered. Right now, it's kind of embarrassing the way they put it up. Now, if you go out and look, it don't go all the way to the backstop. It just covers the bleachers only. And for people, a lot of the older people like to bring their lawn chairs and sit in front of the bleachers, which would be still in the sun. And I think last year we had a couple older people that kind of got heat stroke and stuff out there because there was no shades for them to be, and some of those people are handicapped, they can't get in those bleachers to sit underneath them. So I'd sure like to see to get some more shade out there that makes it look kind of nicer than what's out there now.
I think I talked to some of you about trying to set up an advisory board for the park system, and Grayson had that on his plate, so that'll be something we will move forward to Steve, push Steve to that point. But let me see, I think I've got everybody's name for that advisory board. That'll work out good. As soon as Steve gets here, I'll talk to him about that, make sure he's aware, and we'll see what we can do about that. We have contingency money that we've placed in so that things that come up that are important, and I know when it's 105, it's hot.
I know they're wanting to extend that fence on out, but I think right now the money we better spend on shades and public safety.